So, you found the Sony 85mm lens on sale, and now you are wondering. If you are like me, you always lean towards wider lenses, something that captures the whole scene, lets you crop in if you want, and makes you feel you are covering all of your bases. But then I thought, maybe it's time to give the 85mm a shot. What if I'm missing out? People keep talking and posting, there must be something special about it. From the actual number, 85, to the design, it feels complete, solid and compact. One of the reasons you probably switched to the Sony E-mount system is the huge variety of lens available for each focal length, and when it comes to the 85mm is no different. There are tons of options, each with its own strength, but there is always one lens that makes it to the top, the 85mm f1.8. Mind you, this isn't necessarily because this is the best 85mm out there. It's the balance between performance, price and quality that makes it unbeatable. And let's start with that. Optically speaking, this lens is solid. It gives you impressive sharpness even wide open, and it handles contrast beautifully, giving the nice pop to your images. It's especially strong in the center. Details are crisp and the colors are well rendered, without the overly processed look. When it comes to bokeh, this lens performs exceptionally well for its price. The background separation is fantastic, smooth and pleasing with none of those harsh edges. Low light, you said? I'm glad you asked, because it holds up really well. The f1.8 comes really handy. You might think that there isn't much difference between f2.8 and f1.8, but actually f1.8 lets in around 1.5 times more light than f2.8. This means it's 2.4 times brighter, giving you a significant advantage at night. The autofocus motor is responsive and locks onto the subject really accurately. It's not the latest one, but it gets the job done. The focus ring is also fairly smooth. Be mindful of extreme dark conditions. The shallow depth of field can cause misfocus. Better to switch to manual focus for these kind of situations. Video is also great. The 85mm is considered the B-roll king, and it's difficult to argue with that. Although this lens is 7 years old at the time of this shooting, I can't stress enough about the video capabilities. The quality is superb, the compression is outstanding, and the blurry background is just creamy. Yep, that's the word I'm looking for. Given the focal length, shooting video handheld with this lens is not going to be the easiest experience, at least in the beginning, but paired with one of the latest Sony cameras, or better yet with a gimbal, is going to be an absolute pleasure. As for the quality, there isn't really much to say. It's a Sony lens, it's built out of metal and it feels premium and compact. For the price, it goes here in the UK for about £500–600 on major retail websites, but oftentimes you can find it on discount for about £350–390ish. It doesn't seem to be weather sealed though, just moisture resistant. If that is important to you, please consider one of the newest 85mm. But also consider the fact that the price is going to more than double, and that includes the weight as well. This small beast weighs 371 grams, while the 85mm f1.4 weighs 642 grams. One of the reasons I also considered buying this lens is the filter thread, which is the same as all the other lenses I own. That means that I don't have to buy extra NDs or step rings. Difficult to explain by words, but there is an undeniable power this 85mm brings when you shoot with it. It's like you are given control over time itself. Everything around your frame seems to pause, while the moment you choose to capture unfolds in perfect clarity. This lens doesn't just record a scene, it isolates a feeling, preserving the moment with such details and depth that it feels timeless. It's not just a portrait lens. You can look at the box from any angle and nowhere does it say portrait, landscape or B-roll. For street photography, this lens shines in the busiest of places, where life unfolds in all directions. It lets you isolate a single story, capturing moments, lights and gestures in such a way that makes everything else fall away.